From the Boston Bruins, we have head coach Bruce Cassidy. Media, please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll start with Steve Conroy, the Boston Herald.
Bruce, Tampa obviously has some really good defensive forwards, good defensemen, but could you just talk about the effort of your top line tonight and how they were able to play their game?
Well, I mean, Steve, they're good players. You know that. You've seen it. They don't quit on plays. Third goal is a great example of that. Puck recovery on the power play for Pasta's goal by everyone on the group. So a real good job. Marshy hanging on to it in the first one, finding Brandon. Coyle goes to the net. So a lot of good stuff out of those guys. You typically aren't going to advance if your best players aren't your best players. And, the second period, they weren't as strong on the puck as they were early on. But they got it back, and again, full value. Their line carried us, and I thought some other guys did their job as well. Just didn't get reward on the score sheet, but nice start for that line, yes.
Matt Porter, Boston Globe.
Hey, to add to that, Bruce, could you talk about just composure overall up and down the lineup? Did you see it, kind of from all 12 forwards, all 60? Obviously, in net, you had it.
At times, I thought we needed a little bit more of it, especially late in the game there. We iced the puck a couple times. Probably could have made it a little easier on ourselves the last 2 minutes. Had some opportunities to maybe make a play, get the empty netter and move on, or a soft play where we could get off the ice. But you got to give credit to Tampa. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league. They come after you. So it's a little easier said than done. They're physical. But like I said, I thought, as the game went on, some guys got more into it that maybe didn't see the ice as much early on. And, for the most part, we did a lot of good things with the puck. Other than the second period, we got away from our game. Got a little too cute and wanted to force the issue when we should have just sort of weathered the storm a little better. But we got away with it. Here we are.
Joe Haggerty, NBC Sports Boston.
Hey, Butch, you just how happy and pleased you were with the job Halak did, particularly in the second period when there was a little bit of an ebb to the game and he really had to step up and make some five-star saves there.
Yeah, he was dominant that period. The other two goals, I think one went in off Charlie, the other one had eyes. So they certainly got a couple of fortunate ones, but boy, did he make some saves in the second where they probably deserved better. And I thought their guy did too. Made a great save on McAvoy and a couple others in tight. So I thought both Kasha breakaway, both goalies did their job. We just happened to be one save better.
Kevin Dupont, Boston Globe.
Bruce, I know one of your concerns going in was getting in low, and part of that was because what happened 2 years ago in the playoffs. I assume you're satisfied with your play down low and getting in and getting chances?
I thought we were certainly better than where we were. We've grown as a team since then. Obviously, some different personnel, but yeah, it's something you have to do in the playoffs, and particularly against a big D-core. And we did a better job of it. Now we'll look at it and see where we can get better. I think low to high when it gets up to the D, what's available for the D? Is there a quick play to the net? Like Brandon did on Coyle's goal when you have numbers at the net. Another one, JD was in there all alone. Is it better to go through a seam if they crowd that area? So those are all things we look at, Kevin, and make adjustments as we go. But again, 2 years ago, we won the first game in Tampa. It didn't go our way after that. So we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to enjoy this one, but understand what we need to be. We need to be better. And I'm sure they'll say the same thing.
Fluto Shinzawa, The Athletic.
Bruce, just regarding the doggedness on the puck, especially from your top line players, if they don't exhibit that quality, do those goals happen?
Well, certainly not the third one, Fluto. That's just a guy staying. I think it was Bergie staying on the battle. Pasta makes a heck of a play. But Marshy did a lot of that tonight. I thought the Coyle line in the third period, had some shifts like that. They stayed on it and got it back. That's where Jake and Kasha are good players, have been in the playoffs when they're on it and stay on it. The Crowley line's always going to play that way. They're going to, second effort line, get it deep. But when our offensive players are doing that, we're going to be hard to stop because they can finish some plays. And I've said that about what I'm learning in this league, Fluto, is it's a second effort league. There's very few guys that are that good that, don't need second effort on pucks. And I think our guys do it very well, our top guys. And now it's bleeding into our middle guys to understand that. Hopefully the young guys that are here watching, that's what it takes in this league. If a guy like Jack, who's played a few games now and watched, and Frederick, who's here, Bjorky's first playoff, that, nothing comes easy. So it's a good education for them. And obviously we need to win while we're doing it.
We'll do a few more for Coach. Mike Loftus, Patriot Ledger.
Bruce, another power play goal for you guys, and Krejci's heavily involved. They haven't been together that long. Are they kind of just freelancing out there, or do they have some set plays now?
Well, we've always given them the freedom, particularly the first group, to move around. You'll see that with Krug and Marshy a lot. And, Bergie would slide sometimes out. I remember particularly against Toronto, they killed a certain way. Pasta went backdoor, Bergie would pop out, and so they'd change places basically. So we're fine with that as long as everyone gets to a spot and it's not to the point where it's reckless. Krejci could play either elbow. On his forehand side, obviously he has that play to Pasta through the seam for a one-timer. He's still got the play to Bergie, and he's a threat to shoot. So having those three righties in a row is, if you watch Winnipeg's power play, is a lot like that. It's tough to defend. And then moving Marshy in front. So Marshy's got to be willing to get in there and battle. Kretsch has to be willing to play his offside and be more of a disher than a shooter. And those are sacrifices they have to make. Now, could they flip, obviously, Pasta on the other side? Yes, but, you never want to take away his one time, or at least not for very long. So a lot of creativity, a lot of guys with good hockey IQ doing their thing with encouragement. And then there are a few set plays, a drop off. The one goes down to Marsh into the bumper quick. Those are usually some sticks are aligned the right way, or the way Tampa kills. But in general, it's just a lot of, like I said, guys that can make plays.
We'll do two more questions for Coach. Jimmy Murphy, Boston Hockey Now.
Coach, coming into this series, a lot of people talking just about it. And we were talking about, too, in some of your press conferences, just how they've bulked up a bit on Tampa on their side. They're a tougher team. But nobody was talking really about how tough you guys are. And it seemed to me like early on you guys were trying to set a tone there, say, hey, we've got some toughness too. Am I reading that right?
Well, we just play our game, Jimmy. We're fine. They want to bang. We're gonna match them hit for hit. And if something goes from there, we're gonna stick up for one another. We can handle ourselves if the mitts are off. So for us, not a huge concern, that type of game. We feel we're comfortable in it. You got to be able to do it night after night if that's how it's going to go. Be able to take the wear and tear and then expose teams if they get too aggressive. And I think if you look at a couple of plays tonight, I think it was Cash and Jake were in. It was the first period they got aggressive trying to finish Kretsch. He makes a play into the middle, and all of a sudden we got numbers going to the net. So same with Richie in front of our bench in the second. He makes a play. They're coming at him to Coyle, and all of a sudden Charlie's jumping in late. So we're fine with that as long as we're ready to play on our toes. Play with your head up. Know that that's the way they're going to play. I think it'll make it a great series when you get two teams that have the ability to score and be physical. Those are great hockey games, and tonight, you saw a lot of that, and we were fortunate enough to come out on the right side of it.
Last question. We'll take one in the media center. Go ahead. No question upstairs. Okay, Coach, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.